Kabisa. Today is Lest We Forget, and Salaries will tell us what we are forgetting about. But Njenga Njogu says, finally, my guest is coming up.
Hey.
I was Charlie says, glad today I get to watch the show. Good morning to Boni and no one else.
Hey.
Good morning.
Sisi wengine tujiambie good morning.
Tusalimie.
See Preston posters for your greetings. Boni, karibu sana. It's about Lest We Forget. But before we even talk about what we don't want to forget,
What we don't want to forget.
Salaries will welcome you with the day's quote.
Yes. So today's quote is courtesy of an American. Na tumekuwa tukipata quotes kutoka kwa Americans.
Mtu mwingine amesema lete
Yeah. I really think we need to shift the needle. But this one is courtesy of an American whose name was William Edwards Deming. And he was one of the most influential thinkers when it comes to systems, quality control, leadership. And the quote is, every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. Every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. Your thoughts?
I think that every single system that is designed, actually, it has an outcome that you target. And so if it's designed to give a particular outcome, that's what you're going to get. Yeah.
Everything is always by design. Well, including the very bad ones.
Even the flaws, you know, like you can put a loophole just to ensure that you don't get into trouble. So you design it that way. So for example, if you look at State House budget, there's no ceiling. It just goes up and up and up. So it's designed that way. There's something, what is that? The budget is supplementary budget.
Yes.
Every time it feels like you want more money,
Yeah.
like crack, gets.
But Boni, you know we need new floors. Like, have you seen those floors? They're so old, Bana. And then, like catering, they were making mandazi with like regular milk. We wanted like lactose free. So how can we put a ceiling on
those things?
on like lactose
And then maybe
intolerance?
someone has been watching series. He wants like marble floors. He wants high ceilings. He
How
doesn't
we
want
to stop it?
the red roof. He wants a flat roof. You know, like his tastes becomes the country's tastes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't stop people from having taste. So, yeah, systems are designed in that kind of way. Well, today we have Lest We Forget, and it's actually my first Lest We Forget on this show. Hey, bado si newcomer, mgeni siku ya kwanza. Ya pili sasa tulishika jembe. We are here. So we are going back to May 14th, 2013. This is more than 10 years ago. We saw members of civil society groups, activists come out. The man who's with us in studio was one of them leading this charge. And pigs were released outside of Parliament buildings. And this was a very symbolic protest. Symbolic against the demand for higher pay for those that sit in the House, the legislature of the 11th Parliament, specifically for that. And even as we look back, we want to see, has anything changed? Given that we went, you were charged, ulipelekwa kotini, ukaambiwa, animal rights, amongst other things. And that was such a radical thing to do. I remember just watching the news and I'm like, what's going on? So
It was extreme.
It was extreme.
We're used to protests where human beings go and protest outside Parliament.
Correct.
Some are clobbered. You know, some are injured. But, you know, we were used to such. Now,
Na wale wakuva sufuria kwa kichwa.
those are the things that we're used to, you know.
Pigs.
Then this particular day, this group of young people go to Parliament with pigs and pig blood. Okay, now he'll tell us whether it was actual blood or not, and where they got the pigs from and all. And but Philo, I know we have some of those, you know, images. We can just put some of those images for people who 13 years ago may have been out of the country or may have been in the country but were out
Class
of the
2, class 3.
just see a bit of what was happening on that particular day. You can just put it up on the screen and let's just hear kidogo tu. This is the Reverend Timothy Njoya who was actually leading it. So here, Timothy Njoya was there. Timothy Njoya was one of those people who were used to seeing
Yes.
on the streets
On the
along Parliament
streets.
and being clobbered. And then others also came out, and there were many. But Boni, what was your role? That's you.
Buying pigs in Dandora dump site.
What was your role in this?
I was the architect of the protest, but it was inspired by George Orwell's book, Animal Farm, where all animals are equal, but others are more equal than others.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was actually to show that the guys went to parliament. It was 2 months into the parliamentary role. And they're saying that our salaries are not enough. And so they decided to increase their salaries, and we said that you can't come to a new job that you just applied and decide that you haven't even worked, that the money is not enough. And you can look at... So a lot of members of parliament are my friends. Mada Karua, Gitobi Manyara, guys who served in parliament. Between 1992 to 1997, an MP salary was 5,000 plus allowance 20,000.
Hey.
Between 1997 to 2002, the salary was about 50,000.
Wow.
Between when Kibaki comes to power, between 2002 to 2010, it was with allowances between 350 to 500,000. They come in and don't double their salaries and get all these allowances. So the protest was actually to stop them from doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the pig were for that symbolism.
Yes.
The George Orwell book, where some pigs participated in the revolution. And then pigs got there and they realized, whatever you guys.
No, we're more equal than the rest.
I mean, we're a bigger shareholder than this. I mean, we formed the government. I mean, we're the ones who fought for independence.
Yes.
Sisi ndio tulipigania uhuru.
Exactly.
Sasa mseme ya this is what
We can't be
mimi
the
na
same.
kuku.
Hatuwezi kuwa pamoja. Yeah.
Right? You took the pigs to parliament.
Yes.
You'll tell us about the protest and the impact of that. But I just want to go back into, so you were the architect and you were the organizer.
Yes.
Were you the pig farmer? I mean, where did you
No.
get the pigs?
So we went to Dandora dump site and we looked for pigs. And we got the
Dandora
pigs.
dump site.
Yes. And we painted them. Actually, they ran out of pigs. We needed more pigs.
How many
Who,
did you get?
Are they owned?
About-
Are they wild pigs?
About 28 pigs. And then they were wearing ties. But by the time the pigs go to parliament, they had removed the ties.
Who had removed the tie?
The pigs themselves. Pigs are smart. They're all wearing ties. Because the symbolism was they are M-pigs. So these are the MPs. And you know it's greedy. And then we had the names of the key architects of the motion.
Of the motion.
The Linturi, the Douale. Those are the people who are leading the Midio. Actually, the late Midio was part of the people saying we want more money. So we drew the names of those members of parliament on the big pigs. Now, the blood was saying, because the blood young pigs, the blood was supposed to just splash it and say, there's not enough money to serve you unless you want to drink our blood.
Yeah.
Then we didn't know that pigs actually eat anything. So when
You didn't know?
like in that sense, because
You found them in a dump site. And you're like,
so the blood came from Dagoretti,
Okay.
Kichinjio. So we bought blood
Okay.
separately from Dagoretti, Kichinjio. Then
Okay.
we got the pigs from Dandora. Then we transported them. And it's very interesting because there's even footage that I sent you that for the pigs to get to parliament, there are roadblocks along the way, and the police are just asking for bribes. You know Kenyan police. They don't know the consignment is going. They just stop the car, they take money, and they say go. Then we parked outside parliament. Now we had to control the crowd. So their hard job was to control the crowd so they don't get dispersed before we unload the pigs. And that was the game that we had to stay there and say Tulieni,
Yeah.
until we could offload the pigs.
Yeah.
So it was still under wraps.
It was
Not everybody in the crowd knew that there are pigs amongst us.
Yes, every single protest. So there is a lot, when you organize a protest, there's a lot of circles, inner circle, outer circle. You never let know what the plan is. It's a need to know basis.
Yeah.
So if someone gets compromised or arrested, they can't reveal the entire plan. So you get to know your role. The person handling the pigs handle just the pigs. The person handling the protest just handle. The sound person is just sound person.
the blood person
Is a
just
blood person, and they don't know what role they're playing. So they're playing different elements to avoid being compromised. Yeah.
It's a lot of coordination.
There's a lot.
Let me speak to the numbers. Again, there's a lot of people watching right now who their first mandamano that they witnessed was the one they attended or the one they saw in 2024.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the numbers and the turnout for protest, which was like pre-2024.
So Occupy Parliament at that time had about maybe between 700 to 1,000 people. But those were big numbers for that particular time. And that's the reason why every time we did a protest, we had a shock factor. Because you want the media to cover us a story and have the story going out to the entire country, radio station covering, TV stations, print newspaper. So you ensure that when you're doing your placards, there's message. So by the time, and that's the thing about protest, don't just show up and start shouting. Carry a placard. So if there's a still picture, you can say, what's the message about the protest? So that was the key thing. But also that particular time, it was very unique because people have never seen animals in a protest. So it created a big furore. And remember Aden Duale, it's in his book, complaining how he's a Muslim, and his name was on a pig.
Haram.
Yeah.
But the Muslim community and the sheikhs came and said, actually, greed is haram. So if you're practicing greed, then what you're doing is haram.
Is haram.
One of the protesters there is LF Khalifa, I've seen, right?
Yes, he was there. LF was there. Maina Kiai was there. The entire civil society were there. The only person who wasn't there was William Tunga because he was Chief Justice.
And that's the only reason.
That's the only reason he wasn't there.
I'm seeing the little piggies being offloaded off.
Yeah.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Sorry, and this is just a thought that crossed my mind. And you spoke about intrusive
Yes,
thoughts.
intrusive thoughts.
There's a
New
movie that
result.
was
Intrusive
done
thoughts are
a
intriguing.
while back
It's okay.
called Babe Pig in the City. It's a very old movie.
Okay.
Yeah, about animals in the city, and there's a particular pig called Babe. So maybe one of these pigs should have been called
Babe.
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 Yeah, but in a
Ukuni
protest, of
wapi.
course, we have police who come in and they have the monopoly of violence, and they decide, you know what? First of all, you're outside Parliament. You've brought pigs. What's going on? There's blood. What happened to the piggies when the tear gas?
So they were confused. They didn't know what to do with the pigs. So the police didn't know what to do first. They were very confused. And then the pigs were trying to get into Parliament. So people would say, usipige mheshimiwa. Then we were tear gas. 17 of us were arrested. And then we went to the police station. Another person who was part of the protest was Yashpal guy, who helped write the constitution.
Yes.
So he came to the police station and says, you know what? Oh, these people have Article 37, the right to protest. Akaambiwa, professor, yo katiba hapa ni karatasi, usitulete. That's a piece of paper. Just get out. Yeah. So they did not arrest the old people, not Helef, not Maina Kiai, not Yashpal guy, but the rest of us were arrested.
Anjoya.
And then Anjoya wasn't arrested as well. But we were charged with animal cruelty. But you know, the saddest about this story is the animals were taken to Kenya Society of Prevention of Animal Cruelty. And then they were given a donation by Farmer's Choice. And they gave away the evidence. So the pigs ended up as bacon. So there's no evidence to bring to court.
Where's the evidence?
Duale did not get grilled. He became food.
Wow.
You spoke about you didn't know that these things eat anything, and I think you were hinting at because you brought blood.
Yes.
To Parliament Road.
Yeah.
And the pigs are on Parliament Road.
Yeah.
And you've set the pigs free. Did they eat the blood?
They ate the blood. So when the tear gas were going on, they were busy eating. And then I learned later, do you know, like the mafia, if they want to kill someone, they keep their pigs very hungry. Then when they kill you, they throw in the pigs. The pigs eat everything,
Yeah.
It's
even
very
human
true.
flesh.
Yes.
Just keep your pig starved, throw in a body, the body disappears.
Gone with the wind. There's a lot of symbolism, a lot of, let me use the word symbolism. Walk me through the one that you didn't see, because MPs and pigs you had already thought through. The greed factor you had already thought through. What other symbolism came about as you are now protesting and after, and you're like, yeah, it's falling into my lap now. I'm not even thinking.
Yeah.
Things are just
Wow.
working. They're just falling into place.
I think MPigs becoming like an everyday word that they call MPigs. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
And Gado now does them as fat pigs and we calling them MPigs. I also think that the whole idea of art in protest, so that every other protest that we did after that had to have a piece of art to symbolize what you're trying to communicate. And also I realized that speaks very well to my grandmother. Nguruwe inakuanga chafu. Kama waheshimiwa nguruwe inapenda ukorofi. Kama waheshimiwa nguruwe inakula kitu yote. Waheshimiwa inakulanga pesa ya wagonjwa. It becomes everyday language about their greediness.
Yes.
And I think even till to date, some of them still hurt from being called an MPig. But what's unfortunate actually is that since that protest, things have gotten worse. So members of parliament now earn much more money. So the average salary set by the Kenya government is 18,000 if you work in urban areas. If you're in Shamba Boy, 8,000, 9,000. Now, the person working in Nairobi for 18,000 shillings, let's say the askari downstairs, has a child at home, has to employ a house help, and then pay them 3,000. So they can't even come to work by bus. They have to walk to work. So, but members of parliament earn 90 times more than your average citizen.
Yeah.
And it's very, very unfair. Now, in the 90s and 80s, our parliament had the best legislators because those members of parliament who are very well educated, they're going to serve the country and then they have a day job.
Yeah.
So, Getobi Manyara, Mada Karua, they'd work as lawyers during the day, go for parliamentary sittings, then go back. That's why you had like 2 sittings in a week, right?
Yeah.
But now we pay our members of parliament a sitting allowance. We give them a house allowance to 50,000. We give them 350,000 for travel allowance, whatever they want to travel. We give them a bodyguard, which is a new thing that never used to be there, which means now you have less police officers to keep everyone safe, and they're following around one person. Well, that has led to crooks and watchers people. If you have a lot of money, you fight to become a politician, so you have 24/7 security for free.
Protection.
Every single day. And there lies the problem that now it has become worse. And then, the worst of it all, the legislators have become now CDF managers. So every year, we give every member of parliament 200 million shillings. So spending 51 billion, instead of putting that money into education, giving a member of parliament a slush fund. The 200 million shillings goes to, they give bursaries to their cronies, they do bad constructions, and they hire goons and militia with that money. So instead of electing someone to go and provide oversight in parliament, now these guys have become like, they have become small kings and queens. And there lies the problem. So we tried to fight a problem 10 years ago, 13 years ago. And I want to say that we failed. We did not succeed because it has gotten worse and worse.
It's gotten worse.
So, in some aspects, I can see from just the numbers, you could say that it was a failure as far as curtailing the amount of money that members of parliament earn. But when you look at what this did for, we have had a new constitution for a while now. At that time, it was maybe 3 years old, 2 years, 3 years old. At that time, you were stretching the limits of that constitution.
Yes.
Right now, it's child's play. A protest, it's a Tuesday. It's just a Tuesday. It's a Thursday. Right? At that time, you were stretching this new constitution.
We were trying. And actually before that, we had done another one the previous year where we took coffins to parliament and then burnt them. And you got away with it. It was under the new constitution, Article 37. So even the new IG did not know what to do. But I think our courts have made it possible for the police to break the law. Because every time the police arrest in a protest, they are breaking the law because the law protects you. Yesterday, 13 people were arrested protesting against France and imperialism, right? So 13 innocent people are going to go to court today. They'll be arraigned before court, and a magistrate will allow them for that charge sheet to be read. Even ODPP, how do you approve a charge of someone exercising their constitutional right to protest? And when Macron is still here, in France, you protest, you don't get arrested. Macron comes to Kenya, protest against his presence, then you get arrested, then you end up in court on defective charges, and they allow it to be read and for you to be told you have a case to answer.
That's true. I mean, the French are masters at protesting. Like, it is something we could all, some people we could all learn from. But what are they being charged with, the 13 who were arrested yesterday? We've seen it previously switch from disturbance,
unlawful assembly.
Unlawful assembly. Then we graduated to terrorism. The courts didn't hold that, so I'm wondering.
There's even another one nowadays. I think the ones for the last Tuesday. There was a protest, I think, 2 weeks ago. They were taken to City Hall for dumping.
Oh, yes.
They just call you guys you're a waste of our time. You're dumping.
It's like, what can we put on this charge sheet today?
Yes.
Do we feel like it's a terrorism kind of day or a dumping kind of day? Which is, I mean, the Constitution is very clear, the law of the land is very clear, yet we are constantly violating that. And looking back 13 years, that the charge sheet read animal cruelty, and now we've graduated to crazy accusations like terrorism, shows the very erosion of the institutions that are mandated towards enforcing and making sure that we adhere to the Constitution. Now,
Philaris, do you know the reason why they do terrorism? So if you're a young person who wants to travel outside the country or get a good conduct certificate, you can never get one because of that charge. So they were arresting people across the country, bringing them to Kahawa to scare their parents. They're not even targeting the young people. Young people are like, utafanya, I wrote my obituary, I'm going to the streets, here's a photo to use for my funeral. They're trying to scare their parents, tell their kids, don't let your child go to the streets. They're going to be called a terrorist.
And they will never move.
Wait, if you have ever been accused of terror, it doesn't have to be a charge that sticks. If it's thrown out by the court, you still can get a certificate of good conduct.
So you can get, but between you getting that, for example, a case drugs, the guys were arrested in 2024, still have a case. Even this case for the animal cruelty, we are still now, I think we're now in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Yeah. The case has been going on. There's a
case
charge.
is still ongoing.
13 years later, the case is still present somewhere. It's that kind of a case where one day they can decide, you know what, let's revive that charge of animal cruelty. Still there, 17 of us. We're still facing those charges.
let me ask you, how many active charges do you, how many things do you have going on in the courts? Just
Kuna kesi ngapi?
uko na kesi ngapi as it
Depending,
stands?
libel or criminal.
Zote.
I have about maybe 7 to 8 cases at any given time. And it actually impedes your travel because you have to work around your travel and your court case. And if you fail to show up, there's a warrant of arrest. And it breaks you actually. There's a time, I was talking actually to Betty Murungi, Orengo's wife, and he said there's a time Orengo got sorted, said, I'm not going to court, let them come and arrest me. Because you'd find himself in Kisumu, then he's in Nakuru, then he's in Mombasa, and the salary of MP is how much? 20,000. They don't have any money, he can't travel. He said, okay, come and take me to jail, what do I do?
Yeah.
But it also breaks your spirit because you're hesitant to protest. So for example, if you look at most of us, we rarely protest outside Nairobi. Because you don't have a case in Kisumu, in Mombasa, in Makueni, in Machakos, because you love to travel. And the other thing about traveling, road accidents happen.
Yes.
They can decide to kill you on a holiday. There's a guy, what was the name of the bishop who was killed by
Alexander Muge.
He hit, they said it was an accident. He hit a stationary truck that was delivering milk during a school holiday and died. So it just brings a lot of dynamics when you get arrested all the time.
It's horrible. But the price to pay is also very high. I want to go back into something you said. You feel that you failed because it didn't reverse the things that you were highlighting then. But also you say that it has introduced several things into Kenya's psyche and lingo. Protests now have this artistic expression. There are several words that have officially joined Kenyan lingo with the aid of people like Gado and others, right? But do you think people saw the sense of your protest, citizens here, saw the sense of your protest in 2013? Did people understand when people saw this group of people, including this young photographer called Mwangi, they have gone there with pigs? Did they understand the essence of what you were doing?
They did actually. So for a couple of months, the MPs drew their demand for more pay. There was that as well. And then the president supported they said, oh, you know what? Yeah, we understand. You should not be raising our salaries. Then SRC Sarah Serem was in charge that time, said, yeah, we agree with the protesters. So for that particular time, a period. But you see, this thing about shame, the shame of parliamentarians is very temporary. They withdraw and then the arrogance comes back. So for a couple of months, it was like a win for us. But later on, things have gotten worse and worse and worse because now they had much more money. But because the cost of living has gone high, the salaries of everyone has gone down, but theirs has gone up. Now, but it was also an awakening for many people because it's a reference point for many people in this country when they say, my first protest that I went to, or I saw this. I was looking at the images. Lonerongo, Mugambithiga, I saw Shiba Hast, like Eric Wenaina was there, like everyone was there. And that was like our awakening, let's do this together. And also, as you said, we're trying the new constitution to see how much can you stretch it. But from that has been the foundation of many other protests because 2 years ago, the protest was about money. Same issues actually. Saying you want to increase our taxes, but we earn less. So it has become like a focal point for a lot of protests.
I could say that the fact that even 2024's protests were focusing on Parliament. Well, at that time, it was Parliament that was doing the job of debating and passing the finance bill. But focusing on Parliament, we could say it comes from the fact that several other protests had happened, focusing on Parliament. But do you think we, the citizens, have internalized the actual problem that Parliament is?
No, we haven't. Because we have lost, so we don't even know the role of our parliamentarian.
Yeah.
That's why you have to invite them to harambes, funerals, weddings. That's not their job, actually. And then they measure the effectiveness of a parliamentarian by how many bursaries they distribute.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I say, let's remove money from politicians' hands.
Yeah.
Let's reduce their salaries. Let's remove CDF completely. Let the guy go to parliament, legislate, oversight, and ensure there's accountability.
Yeah.
That's their work. And the moment you do that, you're going to attract people who want to work for the people of Kenya. The moment you remove bodyguards from politicians, you remove this private healthcare, they use SHA, or whatever is going to be there in the future, and tell them, actually, if you're going to work for us, we're not going to pay for your private school education or pay for your maternity for your wife or your wives. You're going to work for us, and you're going to use public amenities and public facilities. Then that will change. There's a man. When I used to come and say the People's Watchman, I got this from Shikuku, who was the first People's Watchman. Shikuku would actually used to live in Kombotela, Eastlands. He would alight at OTC, walk to Parliament. They did not have cars. Walk to Parliament, go to Parliament, and then talk about the issues of the country, because he spoke to everyone on his way to work. MPs used to use matatus. The first car Kenyatta drove in this country, and the Kapenguria 6, was bought by peasants. They did not have money. Gatundu, Ishaweri, where Mama Ngina lives today, and is Kenyatta's family home, was bought by peasants. That land, people fundraised to buy him a home and buy him a car. People contributed to that because they're saying, you're going to serve us. So between 1963 to maybe 88, people were actually not being bribed to go and vote. People were voting for leaders that they cared about. Even 92 elections, people lost against... Nginyo was a billionaire and lost someone who was not a billionaire. People would lose. Jenga Karume lost an election. He was a billionaire. Uhuru Kenyatta, a billionaire, lost in 1997 because it wasn't about money.
It was about work.
Issues, right? But over time, it's what we call the Sonkonization of politics. Sonko won from nowhere. But what Sonko did, he gave free rides, he gave money. And that Sonko effect is still there today. That as long as you have money, we shall listen to you even if you're dumb. As long as you have money, we shall give you any seat you want. Because you're going to bribe us, you're going to incentivize us to vote for you. Now, the problem is, the people who have billions today and millions of shillings have earned it from stealing. And they can only maintain that money by continuing to steal from you. So when they get into that office, they have to recover what they invested.
So, currently what we have is a pigsty.
Yes, I like it.
Along Parliament Road.
Clock it. No, clock it is this katikati.
So pigsty with pigs. But how did we get there? Did we create a pigsty or did we send pigs to the living room? I mean, which came first?
Who is out of place, in short? The institution or the people?
I think we had very good institutions, but we gave the wrong people that power. I think William Tunga has a very good analogy, and he says that Kenya has a very beautiful constitution. It was a very beautiful baby that we gave birth to. But we gave the baby to child traffickers. So we have a very good constitution. But if you have the right tool in the wrong hands, it will cause harm. And that's what we have. We have the right document that is in place, but the implementers don't mean well for the country.
Okay.
So how do we start cleaning it? I'm asking that because every 5 years we have an election. In many instances, we return some pigs, and then we also bring some doves into the pigsty. And we are shocked that the doves are so dirty. They are in a pigsty, for crying out loud. Do we need to clean the pigsty, or do we need to bring in all fresh doves and then tell them, when you get there, clean that place? Because they have no interest in the dirt of the pigsty. But if you have several big pigs in there, even if you have Ni nini ingine safi?
They'll reproduce.
Which other
Like-
four-legged animal would you call clean? Cats.
Oh, cats, yes.
Yeah.
Or a horse.
Yeah. Bring in
Anything else?
with those a clean animal
Hata
with
mbuzi.
hata mbuzi.
Mbuzi ni safi, yeah. But the thing about so elections are very tricky in this country. So first it's which political party, what tribe are you, what clan are you. But I think Kenya should actually reimagine that country and say we want to fagia wote. But if we're going to fagia wote, who are we going to replace that?
Correct.
Those people with.
Right.
And I think the interesting conversation that you guys need to do, and which you're doing right now, is fixing the nation, is asking ourselves, how do we get the right leaders for this country?
Correct.
Because if you do not do that, another 10 years, I'm going to be back here, you're going to be a grandfather, I'll be a grandfather, and you're going to be saying, oh, we failed again. And we can't continue having that conversation. Now, the beautiful thing, and I keep saying this, is that we have 7.8 million Kenyans who did not vote in the last elections. Then you have 3 million Gen Zs who actually have voters' cards. And then maybe they're going to be 2 million more. These people can elect their own presidents. Those guys who are pathetic 3 years ago,
Right.
and the guys who have new voters' cards can decide we want a new Kenya. Then they go around vetting who's going to be part of the new Kenya. And I was saying that the vetting must happen by the Kenyan people. Because if you send politicians in a room, they'll go back and say, they'll go and agree, shareholder,
Yes.
what ministry, come back and say, united opposition, tuko pamoja, Ruto must go. But you're going to replace Ruto with someone else like Ruto. Yeah,
Probably even worse.
true.
Njenga Njogu says, Boni is speaking my mind word by word. This is the only way that will bring sanity back to our leadership. And he continues to say, the problem with our leadership is that we made it lucrative. In my opinion, these positions should be the most unattractive. They should be paid allowances and made to serve as part-time.
Yes.
Anamalizia kusema hakuna interview Bamba Mariam kama this kind of interviews.
Sana. Glad it shows. I was going to ask
Sana.
Boni, red flags, because you're right, we could be here in 10, 20 years or 30 years, backs hunched, just saying the same thing, and realizing that there's something we didn't catch. For me, one of the biggest red flags, young as I was, was I an eligible voter? Not quite. Yes, not in 2012. And thinking there's 2 ICC indictees on the ballot, and we are just like, tick. I feel like that for me was a red flag, and I've called it out so many times. What red flags are you seeing right now that, we can catch right now that we don't have to say 10 years, 20 years down the line, we saw this coming?
So red flag is number 1. Someone was occupied public office and they practice nepotism, they practice tribalism, they have been accused of crimes against humanity or rape or murder, even accusations. For example, you wouldn't employ someone to be a houseboy who was accused of rape or murder, right? So why would you elect that person to become president? And then I think also the media fails us when they give platform to people who have a very checkered past. They get the biggest platform. So the red flags are, even if you're talking about unity in the opposition, who is leading the unity in that opposition, and what do they really want from that? Because as the Bible says, you shall know them by their fruits. If in the past they were rotten, even in the past they're supporting this regime, you can be guaranteed they're not good people. So vet people from their past behavior. It's like a CV. Where have you been before? Where did you work? For example, and this is a good example, if a member of parliament was earning 20,000 in the 90s, how much was a DO earning? And how can you become a billionaire from a DO to a billionaire? Doesn't make sense unless you grabbed land, you stole, you did a lot of bad things. If 10, 13 years ago, you are the PA to Uhuru Kenyatta, and now you're a billionaire, and you're here just stamping, and you've never worked anywhere apart from government, there's a problem. There's a big problem. Because I have friends who are politicians who were there in the 90s and 80s, and they're poor because they never stole. Correct. All these people who have earned from public office and they're billionaires, they're all thieves. There's no honest earning, there's no innovation, there's no entrepreneurial thing that used government office to earn money. Don't elect them. And let me say this. Empty debates make a lot of noise. And so they can feel rallies and big rallies. Because they have money, you're going to give people some billion just a rally. But that's not what you want. You want people to come and tell us, this is the plan for this country. I want to hear these people, the opposition saying, this is a fight, this is our stand against corruption, against nepotism, against the things about what I'm going to do about SHA. Let them give us solutions, because every single day here Ruto must go, then goes, and then what happens? Because that's not the plan. The plan is to fix this country and jail Ruto, plus the people who say Ruto must go. They can share jail cell.
All of
Wote
that.
pamoja.
Forget water. I'll keep asking that question every time I see, because I need the message to, sink
sit.
and to spread as far and wide as it can. But there's also our own part to play, which is essentially we are the people voting them in. If you can preach all you want, but if it's not landing, then it's a lost cause.
Yeah.
So then, what is the red flag with us as Kenyans? Tunapenda shortcuts.
Shortcuts, tunapenda hongo, we like being bribed. Tunapenda kabila yetu, huu ni mtu wetu, huu ni mwizi wetu, lidhulumiwa, he betrayed us. Let me tell you, that position is for that person alone. If he was betrayed, it was betrayed one person, not the community, right?
Yeah.
And, if I'm a husband in my house, I'm not a husband in Eric's house or other people's homes, right? So I cannot take, if he gets divorced, am I divorced? If he gets separated, if he marries a second wife, am I my second wife? Why do you take these people's faults and flaws and issues personal? It's like ours. If there was a fallout between Rigathi and Ruto, it was a fallout between two people. It's not a community thing. So the community should not become like sheep and say, we must teach Ruto a lesson on the community's behalf. Whose community? What community? There lies the problem. So the red flag is, Kenya should stop becoming like sheep. You're herded together. Think for yourself. Ask yourself, what kind of a future do I want for my kids?
Yeah.
And among these leaders, who represent the best for my kids? So you're not voting as a community or a bloc. You're voting as an individual. Because this collectivism will lead us to disaster. Or Kikuyus, Mount Kenya, Kalenjins, or Coast Province, Luos. There's nothing like Luos. You're Onyango, you're Otieno, you're Mondi or Atieno. I am Mwangi. It is me, not the community.
It is. Ni wewe utaingia pale uweke hiyo tik peke yako na kikuramba itakuramba peke yako.
That's not true in Kenya.
I mean, it's not true.
It is not true.
But
You are
also,
not Mwangi. You are Mwangi. There's a very big difference. Look, and that's why when you told us the other time, when you were going to the communities and you were seeking to campaign, you had to establish a base.
Yes.
And the base is, the first base is that identity, community identity. So when they put you there, it is not Boniface, Babanani that they've put there. It is our Mwangi. Okay? When you are wronged there, it is them who've been wronged. But that's the truth of our politics. Unfortunately, I don't like it myself. But can we start by saying that's the truth?
That's the truth. Yes.
And maybe then I'll actually pick on what you had said earlier, that it's us to say that I'm sending Boni. I'm not sending Boni Mwangi because he bears the name Mwangi, and I bear a name similar to his. No, I'm sending Boni there because I think he has something to offer. And when he goes in there and stops now coming to deal with me and starts having deals with Mariam, wako sana na Mariam, hiyo ni ya?
I agree with you.
Na ukifukuzwa na Mariam,
Mimi nimefukuzwa.
shauri yenu.
Yes. It's personal. It's
I'm not there. Is that easy to do though in this? What will it take for us to get there?
There's a way. There's a lot of people in this country who want better.
Yeah.
And they must now act better.
Correct.
So I think at the end of the day, I think there's a need. There's also, in the last 10 years, so when Uhuru became president, he banned civic education. And then he banned it again. And then
What do you mean he banned civic education?
They kicked out. So most of civic education has been done by donors. They kicked out. IFES was doing that, giving that work. They targeted donors who give money towards civic education. So there's no civic education. So the Kenyan politician doesn't want an educated voter. Doesn't want you to understand the connection between you voting for Sakaja and then me coming through this back road of yours, and it's a shitty road. You guys use that road every day.
Delete that word and replace with.
It's a very bad road. Pools of water and sewage behind Nation Center.
Yep.
And this is an entire media house, and you guys come to work every day, and you don't put Sakaja on the spot about that particular small piece. And I think there lies the problem, that as voters, we do not hold individual politicians accountable and responsible for their actions. Tuna blame chama or tuna blame collectively. Let's punish individually. If your MCA has failed you, punish the MCA individually. But also, going back to what you said, vet who's vying. Don't vet the party, don't vet the tribe, vet the individual. Personal responsibility.
I mean, election day comes around and we keep getting stuck in this cycle. I want us to look at protests and what they're able to do. And you did say it was a failure, then Eric built up on it. Is there, and with 2024, I want to go back to the most recent one that was quite impactful. We did see the finance bill, yes, it passed, but a lot of the citizen concerns were looked at. But it's come back in its own odd ways. They found a way of sneaking it in. So is it that as Kenyans, we peak Indu inatuuma leo, we push for it, and then at some point we lose the steam, and then we jump onto something else? Because rightfully so, whatever it is we were pushing for 13 years ago, which is this wage bill, has gone up crazy. You're campaigning to come into to form your own government. Would this be one of the things you're looking to adjust? 1.3 trillion shillings going towards wages is crazy numbers against a budget that currently sits at 4.82 trillion. That is madness. You've spoken about corruption. Is this a fix you'd be looking to make on the wage bill, and what would be your strategy to even go about it? Because, or imagine anyone who's campaigning right now, they're looking at this as an investment. It's like I'm putting in my money. ROI lazima. When I get into office, I need to be able to earn a living. Cost of living has gone up, so the money has to make sense. How are we encouraging for the fresh crop of leaders to come in and accept a wage that is not what it looks like right now, probably even half, and say, I'm comfortable enough with this, I just want to work for the people?
So I think one of the things that we must do as a country, or when I become president, is austerity measures. Number one, you actually need to do an audit. I think the wage bill is very inflated. There is a lot of money going to ghost workers. So you do a wage bill audit. You need to reduce salaries for everyone, from the president to the MCA. They need to earn less. Remove the lucrativeness of politics from that. We need to hire more teachers and more doctors and more police officers, because you have an educated citizenry, you have healthy people, and you have a secure country. You need to remove personal bodyguards from useless positions, like a bodyguard for an MCA or an MP, or even a PS or a CS. Those guys can have a driver and they're safe. We rarely kill politicians in this country. I think they should be killed more, but they're never killed. Because they don't deserve to live from what they do, from what they steal.
Crimes against humanity.
Yes, crimes against humanity. So you need to do that. So you need to actually relook and say, how do we cut? We don't need a president traveling everywhere. The president of Kenya has an office at Harambee House. He has never stepped into that office since he was elected.
How do you know?
Because it's obvious. Everywhere he goes, it's public information. What he has done is just do decorations. He's like a full-time deco person. I want this, I want that, I want this. He's forgetting there's only 13 months left, and there'll be another occupant of that office. So you just need to be able to put the president in the place where he's able to spend the money in a responsible way. But now, the fiscal responsibility also lies at Parliament. They're the ones increasing the ceiling for the budget every year. They're doing that. Now, you said, are we failing because we protest and we move the next thing? We're not failing. It is not our job to hold the president accountable. It's the work of that Parliament.
Correct.
The last time I was here, and I've said this, and I want to say this again, Linda Mwananchi, I want you guys to go to the Senate and Parliament and propose a motion of impeachment and outline how the president has broken the law over the last 3 years and initiate that motion. Let's see who is going to side with you. Because on June 25th this year, we are going again to Parliament. So we can actually set the motion in place so that we build the momentum towards June 25th. But they're not doing that. They just want to go to rallies and say, Ruto must go. Now, who said this? Who said? No. Go. We elected you to be in the Senate and Parliament. Go and do that work. Make that noise where you can have public record. You say, on this particular moment, you said this about this particular issue.
This is what you stood on, this is what you said.
So, so kuna tunalipa hii kazi ya kutupigania. Kazi ya kutupigania si yetu. Ni kazi ya wabunge, maseneta, hiyo ndio kazi yao, na pia MCA.
True. Kweli. I just want to end with, let's assume it's 2027, 2028, you're president.
Yes.
who else do you have behind you in parliament? Because you're absolutely right, shida iko hapo.
Yeah.
So then we're reducing wages, we're doing this. With who? You need numbers in that parliament.
So the numbers are there. There's a lot of young aspirants. I'm a member of Ukweli Party, and we are getting aspirants to apply to become members of Ukweli Party, and we're going to vet them, and then we're going to have many aspirants. But the unity, if you have unity of purpose, if you share values, it doesn't matter which side you're on, because you have to remember this. The 80s, there was one party state. Orengo was a KANU MP. Yes. And then, what's her name? Chelagat, all this, the Apollo Jonjo, all these people were KANU MPs. But they were KANU MPs holding Moi accountable in a one-party state. What that means, that doesn't matter who gets elected. If you elect the right people, they will unite to protect your money from the hyenas and the pigs.
Fantastic. I like the way you've said it. It should not really be that we elect Boniface and then we also elect MPs for him.
No.
That is what we did in 2013. Simtanipatia hawa. Ndio twende tukafanye kazi. Now, Ruto told us the same
thing.
These guys in the opposition are telling us the same, and that's the one thing that we should make sure that we don't do.
We get a rubber stamp.
In fact, if you vote for a UDA president, vote for anything but
that. Yes.
you know? But also now
way.
that should be
It's the opposite.
Different patterns.
it should be just vote for the right person who has a spine that will not be in parliament because they are beholden to whoever is in State House, but they're beholden to the person who voted for them.
Correct.
These other guys, they go in there and they're like, you know what, hii kazi yote unajua nilikuwa funded na huyu jamani campaign. I was their campaign mobilizer on the ground. I owe my seat to the fact that I aligned myself with him. He gave me the party ticket. So akisema ni vote yes, I vote yes. Akisema nisikue bunge hiyo siku, sitakuwa bunge hiyo siku. Na nikienda kwa wote nitawaambia mnaona rais vile ametuambia ama mnaona vile baba ametuambia.
Look at the impeachment of Rigathi. They just said, we've been told to vote this way. They voted. They didn't even care about the impeachment reasons. They said, we've been told, this is the party line. They all told the line.
All right. Let's wrap up the conversation there with Boniface Mwangi. And lest we forget, in 2013, we branded them MPigs. I think that's okay. And we'll continue spreading. I think we have said many times on the show that Shida iko hapo Parliament Road. We can. There's a lot of problems, but the biggest one, iko hapo Parliament Road. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation NTV. We have to end it there. We'll be back tomorrow 6 to 10 a.m. But we leave you in the capable hands of Winnie Lubembe, who is talking about the conferment. There's something happening at Kemri. Conferment of degree and awarding status to several people. There's going to be several people in the studio actually. Dr. Martin Bundi, who is a research director at Kemri, and Professor Sam Kinyandri, also from Kemri, research lead. And we'll also have Professor Feiko Terkuile, who is an infectious disease researcher at Kemri and the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. Whoa, okay. We have actually the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, Kohapa, but within Kemri.
Within Kemri.
Yes. You're in the conversation. And of course, on Nation FM, we have Claudia Naisabo and Brian Aseli on Vibe Shift. From myself, Mariam Bishar, of course, Eric Latif and Falari Somboy. Have an amazing, amazing day.